Okay. Coming down to the floor for it because I'm on the floor for it also. Today I was going to say just start in whatever seated position you feel like doing. It's a breath practice we're starting with. So find yourself how you want to be and comfortably. So you could be in Dandasana with your legs out. You could be cross-legged as normal in Sukhasana that we often start in. You could have your knees bent rather than being in Dandasana. You could be sitting with your knees up. You can be like me and you could either just kneel or find your blocks or something comfy, like a cushion on top of them, just to kneel on. Wherever you feel you'll be comfortable to take on breath practices this morning. We're not here all morning, obviously. We're going to move, but just find your own seated position. You might even want a wall or a sofa or something just to lean against to feel a little bit of support in it. But what we're looking for wherever we are is this long body feeling. We want to be able to feel that the channel is available from the bottom of our torso up through to our nostrils, basically, so that these Ida and Pingala nadis, the channels, where we breathe in through and out of, have got the room and the space and the capacity to take in as much energy or release as much energy as we need to. So we're thinking this morning of a friend's reunion. This is our best friend in yoga. It is our breath. It's the next stage on from what Hatha Yoga really deals with, more asanas and poses. In the 8 limbs, pranayama is the next stage on. It is something you have to learn. So the asanas, the poses, even sitting, we have to learn those before we can appreciate the breath practice and deal with it properly. So the breath's always here quietly supporting us. So now we're going to just find our breath. So before we begin, pop your hands wherever you want them to be, wherever you're sitting. It might be in Chin Mudra, it might be in Vishnu Mudra. No, we're going to take that in a minute. Just for a moment, place them on your thighs, upwards, downwards, wherever they feel settled. And notice that they've connected with wherever they're settled. So they're feeling the support of what's beneath them. There's that sort of comfort of touching. Find your breath, just watch it for a couple of breaths. Notice what it's doing. We don't often look at it unless we're doing a breath practice. It just is there, walking beside us or walking with us, walking through life with us. But it's always there, but it's not always in the same state. It often reflects the state we're in or tries to change the state we're in to help us and support us. So now control your breath, take control of it. It is automatic, your breath, but you can take control of it. And we know how to do that. So start to breathe in slowly through your nostrils if they're available this morning. And exhale through your nostrils. Start to slow the breath down. Watch it following what you're asking it to do. Feel it deepening, taking more energy into you if that's what you need, or releasing the energy on the exhale. Just continue with that little contact with your breath for a second before we begin other pranayamas. So we're going to go through some different pranayamas where we'll also be working with the physical body. But do remember that during pranayama, even in a state of stillness, we're working with our mental and emotional health. So it's a really, really important thing in yoga. Okay, so we're going to now take Nadi Shodhanam. So find your Vishnu Mudra. You can let go of the breath for a minute if it's more comfortable. So it's either 2 fingers on your third eye or folded in. Thumb is for your left nostril, right nostril, sorry. Ring finger for your left nostril. That's if you're right-handed, obviously. It'd be the other way around if you're left-handed. So we're just sitting, going to take Nadi Shodhanam now. So find a comfortable seated position, whatever you want to be, however you want to be seated today. Sorry, Peggy, I had my eyes closed. I didn't see you were waiting there. So we're finding Vishnu Mudra and we're taking on Nadi Shodhanam. Okay, so we're going to begin with exhaling through our right nostril. So take a little bit of control of your breath, and when you're ready, Close off the left nostril and exhale through the right nostril. And then inhale through the right nostril. And close it off and exhale through the left nostril. Inhale through the left nostril. Close it off gently, remember, and exhale through your right nostril. So that's a cycle. So your next one's in right, and then we swap over to exhale through the left. Inhale through the left, exhale through the right. Not at that speed, but that's the circle. So start the rhythm in your own mind, start to carry yourself through this breath practice. Work with it without my cues of right and lefts and ins and outs. So we're inhaling when we're not at the moment, but when you inhale through your right nostril, that's your Pingala nadi. So your sun related channel. So that's your energetic side, your warming side in your right hand nostril when you take in the breath. When you take in the breath in your left hand nostril, we're working with the Ida nadi, which wiggles its way right down through us. So the Ida channel or nadi is our calming moon side, the more female side, the cooling side. So as you continue with this breath practice, start to focus on which inhale more you think you need today. So is it the right one? Do you need more warming, energetic sun energy? Or is it the left one on the inhale, your calming, cool, female moon side of your energy? So work for a few more breaths, just with the inhale. So continue the rhythm and the pattern, but as you hit the side that you feel you need more of, then really focus on that inhale, whether it be your right or your left inhale. So knowing how to use the breath, the pranayama, really important. So obviously this for mental and emotional health is really important because you know which energy to use. If you're overtired, you might want to use your right nostril. If you're feeling a little bit aggressive and crotchety, then you might want to use your left nostril more in the breath practice. You still use both, but you kind of focus on one or the other. So when you finish here, we want to finish with an exhale through your left nostril and then let go of the breath practice. And we'll just wait for everybody to come to the same point there then. Okay, so hopefully we've now all come to the same point. Just before we move, we're going to take our Ujjayi breath here just to connect to it. So we're going to do 6 rounds of Ujjayi. That's a breath. So that noise in the back of your throat. So we're going to take 2 soft, 2 medium. We're going to do 12, 2 medium, and then 2 strong Ujjayi breaths. So the sound builds up as you go up, and then 2 moving down the way. So from the strong, go down to 2 medium and 2 soft. So, sorry, that's 10. Don't worry about the counting. Just do 2 of each. So soft, medium, strong, and then back to medium and soft. So if you've already begun, that's fine. If you haven't, find your breath again. Pop your hands maybe into one of the mudras that we did the other day there. So maybe the Spire mudra, Hakini mudra, or maybe the Dhyana mudra, whichever you fancy, whichever your hands want to take. And then begin, if you haven't already, with your Ujjayi breath. If you're ahead of us, just continue moving up and down the scale a little bit, but try to finish with the soft Ujjayi breath. So it's through both nostrils, inhaling and exhaling. So we're balancing the nadis here. Both nostrils are being used, both channels are being used to take in a balanced energy and to exhale the balanced energy. But what we are doing is deciding on the strength of the energy that we want that balanced energy to be. So with Ujjayi, you're able to choose what you need from that regarding the strength. So if you were exercising, for instance, you'd probably be finding you're using the stronger Ujjayi breath. But this soft Ujjayi breath can be used to calm people down as well. And these are really important to know, to tell other people, because I've been in situations where people are having a little bit of a meltdown, and knowing how to tell them to breathe when they don't know is really important. So this might help other people as well. So with this rhythm that you've got into, come down to the soft Ujjayi breath to finish that practice. And we're going to use that now as we just move on and do a couple of bits and pieces here on the floor. So come down when you're ready onto your back, and we're going to take bridge. So you now know how to align yourself, obviously, for bridge. Knees, hips and feet are all in line. We've got hip distance feet here. You can take feet together, but that's a slightly different pose from what we're doing. So we want feet hip distance apart here, heels as close to the bottom as you can. I often find I scoot downwards towards them, and that makes I get closer that way than trying to bring my feet towards me. So we've got our back relaxed on the floor, our spine feels nice and long here, ready to go. We're going to use the soft Ujjayi breath for the first two roll-ups. And then the second one, we're going to use the medium Ujjayi breath, with or without your arms, that's your choice. And then the third one, we're going to use the stronger one, and we're going to come up and we're going to hold for 3 breaths. So your Ujjayi breath, we're going soft, medium, strong, just like we did a second ago. I'm using it to work with the pose. So if you haven't already begun, and you can always begin while I'm talking, remember, get ready, find that little pelvic tilt, find your feet connected, but wiggle your toes. And then beginning on an in breath, start to gently press into the feet, roll the shins forward towards the wall in front, drawing up on a soft Ujjayi breath, up gently to your shoulders, and then gently using the Ujjayi soft exhale to softly deposit your spine back down onto the floor. And then take one more in your own time, at your own speed. If I'm moving too slowly or quickly, work at your own pace with your breath. So soft Ujjayi roll up for the second time, and then roll down, using that exhale to just gently support you as you come to the floor. This time, with or without arms, we're going to the medium Ujjayi breath, if you've not already got there. So rolling up, nice long slow breath still. We don't speed up just because the breath gets stronger. We actually try and slow it down maybe. So come down, one more on the medium breath, with or without your arms. And the next one, we're going to move up to the stronger Ujjayi breath, with or without arms, but we're going to hold at the top. So I'm doing this without working the breath because I'm talking, but it's not the same experience, believe me, it's just not yoga. Bring yourself up to the top with a strong Ujjayi breath. Hold here at the top with your arms above your head or not. Gently press into the feet and see if you can just lift up a little bit higher, squeezing your glutes, opening up. Find the breath, obviously, if you've got lost control of it. Breathe again. Use your Ujjayi, a little bit more difficult because your throat's a little bit into a lock shape here. So try and gently move the breath down inside you. It may not be the strong one is needed here. You may find you can relax a little bit more into this hold and still use a softer breath. So work out what you need. And you've probably done an awful lot more than 3 breaths by now, so don't worry. If you've already come down, don't worry, but if you've not, on your next inhale, inhale and reach up a little bit higher, and then exhale and use the exhale to slowly bring you back down to the floor. Stay there, don't move, don't stretch legs, just stay there for a second and feel that rebound. And then stretch your legs away from you one at a time. Have a little roll if you need to. We're going to come over onto our bellies now. And we're going to come into a cobra shape in a second. But first of all, before we do, roll onto your tummy and put your forehead on, or your third eye again, onto the hands underneath your head. So we're laying down, face down in a sort of prone shavasana. Legs can be a little bit wider than hip distance. Remember, this gives you a little bit more support when we do move up off here. So here, just try and find your diaphragm now. So as we lie here and breathe, breathing in towards the diaphragm, but feel your belly press into the floor as you do that. And then exhale, feel the belly soften and move away from the floor to release the breath through the diaphragm. So just think of your diaphragmatic breathing here as you inhale, exhale for a few breaths, head down, and really connect to the front of your body. So the front of your body always feels a bit more mobile when we're breathing. We can breathe into the back of our body, we know that. Another thing that it's good to know to teach people when they're in a difficult pose or position and they don't know what to do. But here we're breathing into the front of the body. So feel as your diaphragm moves, the ribs moving into the floor. Feel the belly swell into the floor. Feel that connection down through, right down through to your pubic bone. And as you exhale, everything lifts slightly and moves up towards the top half of your body. Just feeling that mobility with the breath. The breath always knows where to go, where to find space. But even in this position, when you're directing it into quite a contained position, it's still managing to do its thing. It's finding your side body, it's finding your back body, it's finding the space it needs. So you never have to worry that the breath won't be there for you. Okay, so now we're going to come up into Cobra using that same thought of the mobility of the front body. So bring your fingers to in line with your shoulder blades. Keep your elbows tucked tight into your side. Squeeze them into your sides. Engage your pubic and pelvic bones to the floor. So squeeze your glutes and squeeze forward so you can feel that connection with the front of your body there. And then lift the tummy slightly off the floor. Your head may already have started to lift, but we want to tuck that chin to take the weight of the head. Okay, so then find your breath again and breathe in. Use your Ujjayi breath again if you can here. Breathe in, find the strength you need and lift up into Cobra. And hold. So you probably weren't quite ready for that. So you now really need to use your breath to hold up here. Find the strength of breath you need. Find both channels working together. Find the spaces now available in the front of your body as well. The back of the body is contracted, so you probably need to move the breath more into the front of your body. You might can even feel it engage with your tummy. And then try and soften your shoulders down away from your ears. Try and make your upper body lighter by pressing gently through your lower half. Press into your feet if you can. Squeeze your glutes to lift you a little bit higher. Contract the back of your body. And see if you can just find a bit of softness in the front of the body then. A little bit more lightness in the upper half. Make the bottom half work. And then exhale when you're ready, back down to the floor. Bring your legs a little bit closer together. We're coming back now into child's pose. So we're going to have a big push up and sit back onto your heels first of all. And then extend your hands out in front of you. Your head might hover for a second. We're not here for more than 2 breaths, I promise you. So find the back of your body here now in extended child's pose and breathe into the back of your body. Think of the diaphragm there. The back of the body has the diaphragm as well as the front of the body, remember? The side bodies can still find space. And then after a couple of breaths, bring your elbows softly to the floor. Either elbows on the floor and head on the floor, or arms folded and your head softly on top of your hands or your forearms. Take a couple of breaths here. A little bit different experience again with the breath. So now you might find your belly's a bit more compressed. So really having to find the back of the body there. Which part of the back of the body can you find? Can you move it right down to your lower back, the breath? And then, if it's comfortable for you, you can either stay here, or if you can take your head to the floor, sweep your arms back behind you and take your hands down beside your feet. And clasp a hold of the soles of your feet if you can. If not, let your hands just dangle or rest on the floor, the back of the hands on the floor. If you're still got your head on your forearms, that's fine. Don't want to cause any injuries to necks or anything, and head's heavy. But wherever you are, try and let your shoulders go. Let them release across the back of your body. Now your tummy is very contained, particularly if your arms are down your sides here. So breathe into the upper back. Find that space across the shoulder girdle. I can quite see how some people can panic when they can't find the space to breathe. If you didn't know how to do this, this is quite a contained forward fold. So the back of the body doesn't move, just continue breathing, sorry. The back of the body doesn't move very much. It's not as mobile as the front of the body because the ribs don't open at the back of the body mainly. And most of the spine's towards the back of the body, but so we feel a little bit enclosed here, and it's quite difficult to breathe. For some people, this would be challenging. So knowing that you can find that ease in the breath in any position you find yourself in life is really important. To know you can rely on that best friend. Okay, so we're going to come up now gently, raise your head, and then we're coming back down onto our bellies and rolling onto our backs. And we're going to take Bananasana. So we're thinking of our side bodies here. So when you're ready and you find yourself in the right alignment on the floor, might need to wiggle a little bit. Walk your feet over to whichever side you feel you want to go to first of all this morning. So walk your feet over, keep your hips nice and heavy and the torso quite heavy. Lift the shoulders and the head and walk them over to the same side. Find yourself in that nice big curvy shape. If you want to take your arms above your head, then do so. If you want to cross your ankles, then do so. If you want to take a hold of your left or right wrist, whichever one's on the extended side, and extend just a little bit more, then do so. If not, then that's fine. Everybody should be feeling a nice opening on one side of the body at the moment. So breathe into that open side. Find your breath again, might be your Ujjayi breath, whichever breath you want to use. It might just be a Samavriti, normal breathing, even breathing breath. But find the side body that's open feeling now and breathe into that space. Feel your body move to accommodate the breath. You still will be getting breath into your opposite side, into your lung on that side. It's not that we're not taking it to that lung, it's just that we've got a little bit more space to take it into the opposite side. So the body finds space for the breath. And then we're coming over to the other side. So walk back and into center and walk to the other side, feet first and then release shoulders and head, arms, legs crossed, extended, whatever you feel you want to do. Onto the other side. Watch what's happened here. Try not to roll with it too much. Try and keep that open side down towards the floor so you haven't rolled over onto the edge of your hip here. And then find the breath again. And feel the body move with the breath. Feel the expansion through your ribs on the open side. All those little intercostal muscles in between the rib cage opening up and expanding and enjoying that space. Enjoying that freedom, saying, hey, we don't get used like this very often. So we can use the breath to help us move our bodies, to find that mobility in it. We can use the breath to slowly stretch out things that need stretching, to release tension. And then walk the shoulders and feet back to center. Bring your hands down to your side. We're going to take our, my brain's going. twisted roots pose as our final pose today. So this is quite a contained, rotated feeling, but just to think about the breath again. So bring the feet in as if you were going to do bridge again. Cross the right leg I'm going for over the left and really squeeze your inner thighs as you cross your legs. And then press gently into the foot on the floor and lift your bottom up an inch or so and move it over towards the side of the leg that's the upper leg. So I'm going to the right here and just moving gently over towards that side of the mat. This allows you space to twist. You might have said it too late probably, but if you've got a block or a brick handy and you want to use it as support under your leg as you fold, then please do. So everybody's just going to breathe in. We're going to find that engaged tummy muscles and we're going to roll gently over towards, in my case, the left. So the opposite side from the upper leg. So we're taking the twist over. The further away your legs are from you, or the further away the foot is, then on the floor, then you'll find your shoulders won't move quite so much the nearer you are. So if we were doing Jatari Pravriti, with our knees close to our body, then our shoulders would be much more liable to get involved. Here, hopefully, you can feel your shoulders are still quite relaxed. So if you fold it over and you find that you're dangling, let your legs go just to where they want to be so that you feel you can settle over to this side. And then turn your palm up of the opposite arm, so the back arm, turn the palm upwards and look towards it if you can and you haven't got whiplash like me. But try and find a little bit of a twist in the opposite direction through the cervical spine that way. So we've gone in a sort of S shape with our spine here. So quite a lot going on there, and a lot, if you imagine wringing a towel out, the space disappears. So now it might be that people would feel a little bit more difficulty in breathing. So just breathe, and as you breathe, watch where the breath finds its space. Don't try and direct it. Try and let it find its own way. You know you can rely on the breath. You know you've got it support always. It's got you. So let it just find its own way. As you breathe in through your nostrils gently, watch where it finds its space. And the more you relax, the more it will find its own journey into you. Drawing that energy in that you need, releasing the energy that you don't, always working with you to balance you. And at the same time, your body reacts to that. So when your body feels the breath is slowing down, it lets it know through the parasympathetic nervous system. So it's not just airy-fairy, this is medical. It lets your body know to slow down, to release, to let go. And just as you've let go, I'm going to tell you to move. So you need to control your breath again, switch it back on, rotate your head up to the top, draw your tummy in, use your inhale then to lift back up to center, roll back up, move the hips back over to center and then uncross the legs. Ready to go to the other side. So we know what we're doing now. We're crossing the other leg, squeezing the inner thighs. We're pressing gently into the foot and the floor and lifting up and moving the bottom half over to the side of the upper leg a little bit. So you've got space then, draw in through your tummy, inhale. As you exhale, use the exhale to support you on the way down. So neither one part or the other part of the breath is always the one that you need. Look gently over your shoulder towards the back hand. Find that little rotation in the neck area then. And then find the breath. Now this time take control of the breath. Try and direct it, particularly your exhale, to your lower hip. So as you exhale, try and direct that parasympathetic nervous system reaction. Try and tell that lower hip to let go. And as it lets go, watch what happens with your upper hip. Watch that ripple effect through the rest of your body. Legs might start to move around, don't worry. Just see if you can let go and release through that bottom hip, and watch the reaction through the rest of your lower half particularly. But it might move up through your waist, it might move up to your ribs. It might even mean you can release your shoulder a little bit more. So the breath starts that chain reaction. Whether you're starting to energize yourself or whether you're trying to release any tension or just release and slow down, using the breath to begin the reaction is the way to do it. Really, really powerful tool. I don't know if anybody's watched Wim Hof recently, but you'll have seen in there how powerful the breath can be. So things have released a little bit more possibly. So engage the tummy muscles, draw the head back up to center, draw the knees a little bit closer to you, and then find your inhale when you're ready and roll back up, using the inhale to draw you back up. Draw your bottom back to center, release your feet to the floor, stretch out, have a nice full body stretch, right side, left side. We've moved a lot of breath through the whole of the body here, so stretch out and release. And then we're not going to take Shavasana today. If anybody wants to do it afterwards, then please return to the mat. Otherwise, roll over when you're ready and come back up to sitting to finish class. So it's a shorter class today, but it always is your choice to take a longer practice and extend it at the end with Shavasana. And it is important if you have that time. It's not a luxury, it's quite important. So we come back to our seated position for our very final breath practice. So we're going to take Bhramari, humming black bee breath. So this is one that feels a little bit silly sometimes when we do it, but it's really quite a good breath for calming a busy mind. So we've worked with the body in the breath, but this is what the breath can really control. So if you're taking Bhramari breath with me, we're going to place our hands gently, fingers close the eye gently, your ring finger, and then the other fingers just kind of dot about your face until you feel comfortable. And then we're going to inhale through both nostrils and hum the breath out through our nostrils, not opening the mouth. So inhale and exhale. Begin that humming noise in the back of the throat as you exhale, right down through to the bottom of the exhale. Then go back to breathing in through both nostrils and humming the breath out on the exhale through your nostrils, not through your mouth. So with the eyes closed, doesn't feel quite so conspicuous possibly. But try to forget the whole thing about what the breath looks like, or what we look like, what we feel like. That's the mind telling you that. Ignore what it's saying and focus on your breath. Focus on that vibration through you as you hum the breath out on the exhale. Focus on the points of your fingertips touching your skin. Feel that tiny connections as your throat causes the whole of your face to get involved through the vibrations. Deepen the inhale if you can. Find a space further down your body, lift up through your spine, and then exhale fully, right down, or right up rather, from the bottom of your body upwards. Connect with the sound vibrating in your ears. Just breathe for 2 or 3 breaths without me talking. Just really focus on the breath. And then release your Bhramari bee breath. Just before we go into hands, if your hands haven't moved yet, something I didn't do there that is part of that practice is to take your thumbs and close off your ears. But by doing that, you can't hear what I'm saying. So I'm more important, so I didn't do that. But if you're practicing that one on your own, if you close off your ears, you get even more vibration and connection with what you're doing. So that's a nice one to try on your own when nobody's talking to you. So let go of the hands down to the knees. Find where they want to connect, whether they might naturally go into a little mudra, whether they might cup your kneecaps, or whether they might turn upwards to engage with the energy around you. So our breath, there's an old Sanskrit proverb, for breath is life. So if you breathe well, you will live long on earth. Thank you everybody for your practice this week. We have all become friends, I hope, I like to think. And friendship is a really powerful thing and something we can't live without. So thank you for our week of friend reunion, and I look forward to more friendship next week. On Monday, Tuesday I'm traveling, so Wednesday morning I'm going to do instead. Thanks everybody for your practice once again, and have a great weekend. Namaste.